All right, welcome back, YouTube. I wanted to do a price action update just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on since we've had some pretty interesting events take place last week. But I'm going to save the details of that for another video. But we know we have the ETFs approved for Bitcoin. So ultimately, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin's price action, Dogecoin's price action, and Ethereum's price action. So we technically, even since the initial sell-off from the SEC's account being hacked in Bitcoin, we have not technically recovered from that initial run-up. We've had a very minimal movement over the last couple of days, but we have not recovered from that initial run-up in Bitcoin. We're sitting at roughly around 42,000 now, even though BlackRock is quote unquote around 11,000, 12,000 coins right now for their ETF, and apparently are in position to buy more. The price overall right now is declining, and that's because of a few different ETFs. And we're going to obviously have to take a look to see which of them are going to monitor the price the closest. But again, I'll save that for another video. This is just going to be mostly about price action. So right now we're looking at a consistency with the floor being around 41,550. That is where these rejections are coming in. We have had over 5 really in this range right here at 41,550. So as of right now, for this run, if you're able to get at 41,550 or even slightly below, that is a great accumulation point. That this has been really fruitful for literally like the last month and a half, last 2 months almost, really. So that zone is really a great area, especially even where we are right now, because even if you're taking like the average, we're roughly close to it, even being on a low part of that. So these are not bad accumulation points if you're looking to get into to Bitcoin here. We have another situation here where this can be a huge indicator for a swing up. And this is the 72-day, right? So the 72-day is coming up here. And this can be a really big indicator here. If we have some divergence here, or even just a parallel between the two, and then we have the opportunity here that maybe you can plug in like a 21 or something like that and kind of get an idea and get a feel for the next swing up, because we had the 72 cross the 200, we had the 14 cross the 72, the 14 cross the 200, and it's really these bullish indicators here. Obviously, we had this huge run up using the 14-day kind of as support, literally just kind of trending along it most of the time. So ultimately, we're not in a bad place. Even with this sell-off, it bounced. It was able to get liquidity where it needed. So not a bad position. So nothing abnormal happening here. Nothing like threatening like a huge sell-off or anything. So it's still doing relatively well, especially considering the pump fake from the SEC. So we'll take a look here at Doge. And we're seeing something similar here, a similar candle to that big sell-off with the SEC pump fake, having the 14 cross the 72 here. And technically speaking, this is very interesting. Technically speaking, when this happened a few days ago, that would have been known as a death cross, right? And technically speaking, we have not seen that downward break yet. This is very, very interesting. We had a sell-off, but it literally was able to grab liquidity out of the 0.5 range, and we're resting right now on the bottom of this zone. Not even coming down to, because you would think that with this indicator here, we would have come down further toward the top of this liquidity zone to grab some liquidity before we're able to kind of bounce back up. But that has not been the case. Doge is literally pushing back. So, just letting you know that these indicators are not 100%. They give you an idea. But as of right now, this indicator here, it is a lagging indicator, but it has not shown itself to fulfill itself this time, which is very, very interesting. Yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of price action. But even if you take a look here at the shorts, you will see that the shorts are steady rising. This is the highest amount of shorts we've had since early November, right? And before we get anything higher than here, they start putting big numbers in, right? So these shorts have been steadily increasing and steadily increasing. They've done some swaps and they're taking positions here. They're steadily increasing. So right now we're like 0.08% for the day. But we have to kind of keep that in mind, because after these levels that we're at now, typically they start going up by several 100%, if not thousands of percent a day, they start really trying to get the price action down. So ultimately, if we see those huge spikes, they're going to try and pump in a lot of sell orders and try and get the price probably down out of this liquidity zone, probably have us touching on the top of the liquidity zone, similar to what happened here. We had this run up to ironically levels that we're at right now, and we had that run down to around 709, and then we ascended. This here is the top of our liquidity zone for those of you who are just tuning in. So this is where Dogecoin typically hangs out, even if there's no catalyst, even if there's no, if the market's quiet, if it's bear market, if it's bad news in the macros, no matter what's going on, this is where Dogecoin has spent most of the time since the bear market crash. So if we see a spike in shorts, we can kind of put that on the radar for these sell-offs. But ultimately right now, it's doing really well by pushing up and holding out against this indicator here saying that we should have a rundown. Taking a look here at Ethereum. Let's take a look here. We have the 14 trying to catch up, right? Ethereum has been on a tear, which is it's kind of broken off and doing its own thing compared to Bitcoin, which is typically not the case. Typically, Ethereum is like a carbon copy of Bitcoin's price movement. One time it was trending with Doge, but right now it's kind of doing its own thing. And I believe people are anticipating, or the market's trying to price in the potential of that Ethereum ETF, especially after BlackRock CEO said that he sees value in Ethereum ETF. So I think that people probably are trying to position themselves in to capitalize off of that, if that huge run up, once that we go through this similar process of getting that approved and we see some capital kind of flow into the market. So ultimately we are hanging out around that 2,500 mark. We'll see if we're able to kind of build some support in this range. I don't believe we have a lot of, this is a gap. So we'll have to see if this is going to build out, because this kind of what I thought. This is typically a gap zone here. So we'll see if we're able to build out some support here. If not, don't be surprised if we fill this back to the downside and continue here at the support until we get some liquidity and go to the next zone. So don't be surprised if you see that. It's not the end of the world. Just kind of know that this is not established itself as a buy zone just yet, a major buy zone at least. So we have to kind of keep that in mind. So with that being said, ultimately, the market is still trying to find its footing. Bitcoin has not recovered from that news, and we're going to see some buy orders come in this upcoming week as these hedge funds, and they're offering their deals and stuff about not charging fees. And as they accumulate BTC, we'll see the capital come into the market, and ultimately we're going to see where or how these ETFs are going to set up, and ultimately which ones are going to track the prices the closest. And that'll kind of give us an idea of the actual capital that's going to come into the market. And we'll see how those fees are structured. But again, I'll save that for a separate video. Just want to update you on the price action we've had in the last 48 hours since the news of it being approved, to see how the markets are responding. So that being said, I appreciate all of you guys. I will see you guys in the next update. And thank you guys for tuning in. We are over 61,000 now. So I definitely appreciate you guys for sharing the videos. There's a couple of them that really took off. So I really appreciate you guys for sharing the videos and getting the information out there. For those of you that appreciate no fluff and no hype. So I'm really grateful for all of you. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.